March 16th, 2022 was the first rate hike by the Federal Reserve since December of 2018. They indicated an aggressive path ahead with rate rises coming at the end of each meeting in 2022. Rates are now around 6.5%. And if you've been watching the national news on the housing market, you've seen those doom and gloom predictions about how home prices will plummet as a result. And you know, that may be true for some parts of the country where people are leaving. And it's partly because of the higher prices that are even higher now with the increase in mortgage rates. But there may be some other reasons, things like crime, high taxes. I'm not saying where, just saying there's other reasons besides interest rates. So in this video, we'll take a look at what's going on in the Eastern Panhandle. It's our February update and our contact information is below. And if you want to learn all about the Eastern Panhandle, consider subscribing. We do a new video every week. Since interest rates are a big influence on the housing market, we'll look at how a change in the interest rate affected prices, days to sell, a few other things over the last few months. The biggest change here is how long it's taken to sell a house. Since interest rates started rising in June, days on market in Berkeley County has gone up every month from under 10 days in June to over 20 in January. And then in February, it shot up to almost 50 days. Same thing for Jefferson, gradual rise since June. Now it's up to over 30 days. Pretty much the same thing for Morgan. So from when interest rates were 5 or under, days to sell has gone up from just a few days to over a month in all three counties. It's taken longer to sell because there's fewer buyers with these higher interest rates, but there's also fewer homes for sale. So the buyer-seller ratio hasn't changed that much, and prices haven't gone up much. They pretty much held steady. And that's true in Berkeley County. They're holding steady. Jefferson, pretty much the same. Morgan did see a big jump in median price in February. On the buyer side, the demand index overall has dropped, but there are some areas here where it's still very strong, according to the Home Demand Index. And that's a predictive measurement. It takes into consideration the number of online searches and requests to see homes in a particular area. There's 4 areas in the Eastern Panhandle where demand is still very strong. The 2 areas in Berkeley County showing strong buyer demand are zip codes in Martinsburg, 25403 and 25404. Those 2 areas are just outside Martinsburg. 25403 is on the west side of 81. It's a more sparsely populated, fairly large area with higher end homes. It has a demand index of 155. Anything above 130 is considered high. 25404 has mostly moderate price subdivisions. There's some nice homes in there as well. It's also high at 164. In Jefferson County, Kearneysville shows a demand index of 131. So that's a fairly large, sparsely populated area. It's between Jefferson and Berkeley County. Harpers Ferry is also high at 152. Most of the residential areas for Harpers Ferry is south of the town, and it's mountainous and wooded. You know, those 3% and under mortgage rates are really a historical anomaly. If you look back at the history of interest rates, back in 1985, people were buying houses at 13%, and what a great investment that turned out to be, looking at the appreciation of homes since then. I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think we'll see 3% again for a long time. So, wrapping all this up, prices haven't taken a dive. They're fairly steady around here. It is taking longer to sell, but it's also taking longer to find a house. Both sides, number of homes for sale and the number of buyers have dropped. Buyer demand is, according to the Buyer Demand Index, still very high in a few areas in the Eastern Panhandle. Also, about 32% of the homes currently on the market are new construction. So that's a big part of the homes available right now. Resales are down, and that's probably, well, it is tied to the higher interest rate. People with a 3% interest rate on their current home aren't going to be too motivated to sell and take on a 6% interest rate. But as the new higher rate becomes the norm, I think that people that wanted to downsize, upsize, will begin moving forward with those plans, especially if it settles in around 5%, which is what the National Association of Realtors, that's what they've been saying. They expect it to settle in around 5.5%. Okay, I appreciate you tuning in. That's February for you. I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Bye.